r/nosleep. Posted by u/flagon_of_trallies. Upon starting my new job, I received a mysterious set of rules. I deliberately broke all of them. I recently got hired as a night watchman at a local museum. On my first, and only, night on the job, I found a mysterious list of rules sitting on the front desk. At the top of the page it had my name, along with the following words. You must follow all of these rules exactly. If you break any one of these rules, disaster will ensue. Furthermore, if you break any of these rules, we will know and we will punish you. No way! I muttered to myself upon seeing the page with all the rules on it. I've read all about these mysterious sets of rules on r/nosleep. I can't believe they're actually a real thing. I thought people were just making these kinds of rules up to freak people out, but I guess they must be a real thing. Isn't it strange how, with so many different employers apparently distributing these sets of mysterious rules, I've never read about them anywhere other than r/nosleep? If I were a sane and rational person, I would have totally followed those rules I was given to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, I happen to be a deranged psychopath with an obsession for rule breaking, so I immediately decided I was going to break all the rules I had been given in the most spectacular ways possible. I read the first rule on the list. Rule number 1, as soon as the sun is fully down, an extraordinarily tall, thin man with an unnaturally large grin will appear staring in at you through the nearest exterior window. If you see him, you must ignore him. I laughed because this sounded just like one of those bizarre, creepy rules I'd read so many stories about on r/nosleep. I stole a samurai sword off the wall of the museum's Japanese artifacts collection and made sure to watch all the nearest windows, waiting in anticipation for the tall, thin man with the unnaturally large grin to appear. Sure enough, about 5 minutes after it was fully dark, I saw him staring in at me through the window. He had an absolutely enormous grinning mouth filled with sharp, yellowed teeth. His eyes were enormous, bulging, and bloodshot. Strangely, he was naked except for a loincloth. As soon as I saw him, I charged towards the window and swung the samurai sword at the glass, hoping to smash through the window and slice the creepy grinning man in half. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way because the man disappeared from the other side of the window right as I was in mid-swing. The window didn't shatter into a million pieces like I wanted it to either because, apparently, museums have extra thick exterior windows that are made to be really hard to break to prevent museum thieves or something. In any case, the window was only mildly damaged. In frustration, I hurled the sword across the room. It smashed into a display case full of 300-year-old Chinese porcelain dishes. Naturally, the display case was smashed and its contents shattered. Phooey! I shouted. Why couldn't the window do that? Disappointed that I had failed to kill the creepy grinning man that I was supposed to ignore according to the rules, I looked down and read the next rule on the list. Rule number 2, just after midnight, a tall man carrying a briefcase will show up in the front desk and ask you where Mr. Katsopoulos' office is. His office is actually on the 4th floor, but you must tell him that it is in the basement. If you do this, he will get a potato out of his briefcase, hand it to you, and then leave. You must hold onto this potato for the rest of the night. Don't let go of it, even for a second. I laughed at how bizarre this rule seemed. Nevertheless, I waited at the front desk for the potato man to arrive. Sure enough, just as the rules predicted, at around 12:03 a.m., the man emerged from one of the side rooms and came up to the front desk. He was extraordinarily tall, nearly 7 feet. He was wearing a suit and dark sunglasses and he was carrying an extraordinarily large briefcase. I don't know what the heck he needed such a huge briefcase for. I mean, you could probably fit a body in that thing. Excuse me, sir, but could you please tell me where Mr. Katsopoulos' office is? The man asked. Oh, yeah, it's on the 4th floor, I told him. The man frowned. That isn't the right answer, he said, darkly. With that, the man opened his briefcase on the desk, pulled out a bouzouki, and whacked me over the head with it. The blow from the bouzouki left me unconscious. By the time I woke up, it was nearly 1:30 a.m. I looked at my rules to find I'd already missed all the things I was supposed to do for rules 3 through 7. Oh well, I muttered. I was just going to break all those rules anyways. The next rule was Rule 8, which read as follows. Rule number 8, at around 1:45 a.m., you will hear lively 14th century Italian saltarello music coming from the room with the skeletons. Whatever you do, don't go in there. I went to wait outside the room with the skeletons. Sure enough, at 1:45, I heard lively Renaissance dance music coming from inside. I immediately barged in to see the skeletons had all come to life and they were dancing and playing music. As soon as I walked in, the skeletons turned towards me. Their instruments suddenly turned into weapons and they charged at me. I rushed out of the room and slammed the door shut behind me, swiftly bolting it so the skeletons wouldn't be able to escape. Then I ran away as fast as I could. As I was in the midst of running, I heard the skeletons clatter against the door. I glanced down at the very last rule on the list. Here is what it said. Rule number 9, at around 4:30 a.m., 3 strange men will show up behind the museum in a black van and try to set fire to the building. You must meet them before they accomplish this and tell them, "The master greets you." If you do this, they will drive away, leaving the building unharmed. You must not let them set the building on fire. I laughed. "Well, I guess it's time to burn this place down," I said. I ran around back where the rules said the men in the van were supposed to show up. At around 4:30 a.m., they did. They got out of their van and started pouring gasoline all over the outside of the building. One of them tossed a lighter on the gasoline and it caught fire. The entire side of the building erupted in flames. Then the 3 men noticed me. They stared at me for a moment. "You guys are probably expecting me to tell you something, aren't you?" I asked, smirking. They didn't say anything. "Well, guess what, I'm not gonna say it. You guys can burn this place to the ground for all I care." Their eyes lit up brighter than the arsoniest blaze they had set. With that, I tossed the rules on the fire. Burn baby burn. Hello viewers. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for your support. I think you all know. We are posting stories with rules. On the other channel Creepypasta Rules. If you are new, make sure to check out the other channel. Link in description.